Well, I want to tell you that, and this could happen in America, and you don't think so? Well, you better read history. In the 1920s, during the Depression, in Germany, there were about 300 armies, and it ranged from 100 people who were armed to several thousand. And this is where the brown shirts came from. They became the predominant group. And there was violence in Germany at that time. Not major violence, but there was some. And the brown shirts were the precursor to what eventually became the Gestapo. And, of course, it's a long story of how it happened. But you could have that happen in America or any other country. So don't think it can't happen. It can.
Mark Faber says he is 100% sure that the U.S. dollar is going to experience Zimbabwe-style hyperinflation.
We're carrying the article tomorrow in the publication, and he's right, but I don't think it'll go that far. I don't think they can carry it that far. I think we're going to have some sort of a crisis before the end of the year, and probably before the end of October, in the dollar. It'll certainly go to 71.16 from 80 where it's at. The question is, will it break down before the year is out? I think there's a good chance of it the way everything is acting. I mean, I see the Fed in the bond market panicked, and they can't control it. 10 times bigger than the stock market. And so you don't want to be in dollars, U.S. dollars. And you know what? If you're not in, get in to gold and silver related assets. If you're in and you've got any money, just like I told you a few minutes ago, take all your money and put it in. Because it's the only way you're going to reduce what you have to wealth preservation. And you've got to have coins and shares. You just got to. And the other things that I mentioned earlier in the program. It's vital, and you only have 2 or 3 or 4 months, and that's it. Prices are going to skyrocket in gold and silver. It could happen in June in the gold and silver prices.
Regarding the possibility of revolution in America over economic conditions, Andrew Goss states technologies in place to alter human behavior, such as the Gwen Towers. What, if anything, have you heard is the real reason behind the mandated switch from analog to digital?
Geez, I don't know.
TV.
Don't know. Got the wrong guy for that one.
There's lots of reasons they say they switched from the analog TV to the digital, but I
think it was money. I mean, you know, it's obvious. Let's make everybody get a new television.
Yeah, but see, I think it's a little bit more than that because they had a push on. They were supposed to switch it in February. Now, come on. What difference does 4 months make for the rest of the people who didn't have it in February to get it by June? So I think they weren't ready for something. I think it's a way in order to get into everybody's home as much as possible. That's what I believe. You know, that's my conspiracy theory, folks. And I don't think it's much of a stretch. I wouldn't actually call it a conspiracy. I think it's a true theory.
Well, I don't like them. I like the analog better.
Let's see. Here's a question that just came in. Let's see if we can get this one. When the dollar devalues or collapses, what will happen to the stock market and the value of equities?
Stock market's going to go down. They can't go up. The earnings aren't there. There's nothing there. All kinds of bad news. I mean, Donnelly, the Yellow Pages producer, went bankrupt today. I mean, it's an over 100-year-old company. It's going to be everywhere. We're going to have 35 to 50% unemployment. They can't stop it. You know, the real estate industry is destroyed for the next 20 years. You know, people don't realize that the stock market, once it reached 1,000, took 20 years to break it on the upside. Are you listening out there? This is what has gone on before. There's no reason it can't happen again. Are we going to have Zimbabwe-type dollar deflation? Maybe. I don't think so. I think they'll devalue and default far long before that. How much will it go up? 50 to 100% inflation. I don't see it going any higher than that because they'll devalue. And they've got to back it with gold or commodities or it ain't going to work. And they know that.
Will the nominal value of the market go through the roof due to hyperinflation and you get about 10 seconds?
Absolutely not. Real estate didn't and the market won't. Interest rates are going to go up.
800-375-4188. We'll pick up on those questions come Monday, so keep them coming, folks. We'll be back, so be safe. Until then, good night and God bless. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, too, and I'm already calling in for Monday.
Okay. Good afternoon,
Bye-bye.
Bob. Bye-bye.